What is good, tribe? Welcome back to the Leaders Create Leaders podcast, to our live, global, all around the world. So excited to connect with all of you again on this beautiful Wednesday. What's good? What's good? You guys already know the drill. First and foremost, if you could do me a favor and drop a comment with your name, where you're coming in from, where are you in the world right now, and one thing that you're grateful for. And then we'll get ready to bring on our special guest and thought leader. What's going on, Tyler? Good to see you, bro. Cannot wait to co-elevate and collaborate with you. So guys, real quick, again, I want you to drop your name, where do you live right now, where are you in the world, and one thing you're grateful for. Drop a comment, and let's get ready to prepare for our special guest. One of my best clients, Lauren Courtney Heals. She has been such an amazing spiritual coach for me. She's worked with me. I did her 6-week training, and she has a new program we're going to be talking about that we can all learn that goes into the chakras, and I think goes even deeper than that. So we'll be talking about that. So let's see. We got Sin from New Jersey. Grateful to wake up today. I love it. I love it, man. We got Tojek from Nigeria. Grateful for life. Got South Africa in the house. What's going on? Laredo, Texas. Shout out to Laredo. My whole family out there. The Digital Jeffs, the Digitals. Shout out to the Digitals. We got Gabriel from Brooklyn. Grateful for another day of growth. Fire. Isabel, LA. Health. Rosemarie, New Jersey. Being alive. Erica, yes, my family. We went to high school together. One of my greatest friends growing up. I love you. Calvin from Virginia. Thankful for life. We got Being Alive, South Africa. Tyler Harris from South Carolina. I miss South Carolina so much. Grateful for the opportunity and abundance. Let's see, we got Hannah from England. Grateful for motivation and inspiration to get things done. We got Erica Belleville in the house. We got Ken from Atlanta. Grateful for my daughters. We got Maria from Spain and living in Germany. Grateful for being alive and kicking. Fuck yeah. We got, what's up from Westchester? Yo, what's going on? Let's see. We got Trina from Toronto. Grateful for my health. I love it. We got Madrid, Spain in the house. Man, you guys are so awesome. I love it. From all over the world, all over the globe. Thank you for taking time to join. I'm grateful for, I'm grateful for my team. I talked about it in my story, and I wouldn't be the man I am. I wouldn't be the leader I am. I wouldn't have the success that I have without the team that I have. I think truly great leaders, yes, you see them, they're leading by example, they're leading in the front, right? But a lot of times you don't see what's going on behind the scenes. And I tell you, I wouldn't be able to impact so many millions of lives around the world if it wasn't for my team. I remember even with my last company, Elite Daily, it started with just an idea, but then I had 200 ride or die employees that helped me build that company. Leaders Create Leaders. I could never have, built that brand, touched so many lives without Digital Jeff, without Vixgy, without Nicole Raul, just Brian Donovan, just all the people. Brian Ragone had helped me back in Founders. Eric Thomas, all my mentors. Just so many people that have been on my team that have helped me. So every single one of you. You know who you are. I love you, and I appreciate you guys so much. So, guys, I'm excited. You guys excited for this next live? If you guys are excited, drop some fire emojis, and let's get ready to bring on one of the most powerful, spiritual, conscious, transformational coaches in the world right now. Someone that I hold near and dear to my heart because she's created such transformation and elevation in my own life. So, guys, what I want is drop her flower emojis, all right? She's divine feminine. She's just so many beautiful, beautiful things. Her heart is gold. So guys, as we bring her on, I want you to drop any flower emoji, and please help me welcome Lauren Courtney Heals, everybody. Yeah, I love the flowers. We got a rose. Yeah, that's what's up.
I love
Lauren.
you. Oh my God, I feel your love pouring into me and your community. Thank you.
We're pouring it in. You got flowers getting poured all over you. Just envision all these flowers being poured all over you, right?
Make it rain. Make it rain.
Making it rain flowers. I love it.
I'll take all the goddess energy. Bring it in.
Nice. Well, you're one hell of a goddess, and I will start off with just saying thank you so much for being part of our tribe at Leaders Create Leaders. But more importantly, thank you for the work that you are doing in the world, how you're showing up as a conscious leader, and really just in helping me, because as a CEO, as someone who is an entrepreneur who has to deal with the ups and downs every single day, yes, it's been, I've learned how to have these tools and rituals to master what goes on with my mind and all the things that come up. But we also need help, and for a long time, I struggled with also asking for help and getting a coach. And you've been one of those people that came into my life when I needed it and brought up so many things. I mean, guys, she brought up things from childhood that I didn't even realize that have been like in my subconscious. She reconnected me to my great-great-grandmother, who I didn't even know, and it caused me to start asking those questions, and my mother telling me stories of my great-grandmother. She had me bring up something that was so hard for me to talk about, a business relationship that I've had for 18 years that I've struggled with. And, our relationship has been strained, and she helped me, talk about that and deal with that and understand how I need to bring in boundaries into my life. And the three words that really come up we focused on were courage, boundaries, and discipline. And she would teach me, not only would she do these sound healings and meditations and help me break through a lot of the things that I've had from past lives, from this life, from all types of shit, but she gave me real practical ways to be able to call in this new abundance in my life, as an entrepreneur and as a man. And I've been every day, like you said, Lauren, I've been doing it. I've been doing the body allow me to experience all of the courage, boundaries, and discipline that I am through and into all of the courage, boundaries, and discipline that exists.
Yes.
So I appreciate you. I got it, sis. I got it.
That body of light work is next level.
Yes. So let's just I'm going to pin a comment. But can we just kick off, like, how did you step into this work and give people some context? Who are you? What do you do? What do you do? What's your mission?
Who am I? So thank you for having me, and thank you for that warm welcome. So it's crazy. I feel like I've been doing this for so many lifetimes because I have. But I've been doing this deep work for the last 4 years, and it gets deeper and deeper. But a very long story short, I was in a relationship about 6 years ago with someone, not my highest vibrational relationship, but at the time, like, we were feeding each other love because I didn't realize I didn't love myself. And we ended our relationship and then tried to get back together, and he had his own stuff going on, and I won't dive into too much of his stuff, but long story short, in that area, we were at my apartment, and I woke up one morning to a knock on my door, but it wasn't a regular knock. Living in New York City at the time, it was like a banging on my door, and he jumped up, like, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And long story short, there were 8 undercover cops outside of my door, and I was like, okay. And I watched this guy get taken out of my home in handcuffs, and I sat on my floor in my bathroom sobbing, like, how did I get here? What do I do? I'm this nice Jewish girl from Long Island. Like, how did I end up here in this moment? This isn't my story. And it was the first time I talked to God. I didn't even know you could talk to God. And I was like, God, like, how did I end up here? How can, like, help me? And I was guided to Kundalini yoga, and I started going. I was like, all right, like, I'll try this. Sure. So I went to Kundalini yoga, and I spent a year kind of going to classes and tapping in. And I remember the first class, they were like, focus on your third eye. I was like, what the fuck is a third eye? Like, I don't know what the fuck a third eye is. You want me to get quiet and focus on my forehead? Like, sure. Okay, whatever, crazy people. Okay. But I just kept going back. And what I liked about the classes the most, I realized, was at the end, they would play the gong, and I would fall asleep. Like, I was passing out. So I started going every weekend to sound baths. It was like, this is cool. Like, I used to go to the bar on Sunday, but I'm going to leave my friends and go lay in this room where they play the gong. And I didn't know at the time that I was being prepared for my biggest awakening. So a year goes by, a year and a half, and then fast forward 4 years ago, July 3rd, my best friend, my first love, my partner in crime dies. and I was not expecting it. Had it been 10 years prior, I would have expected it. But as far as I knew, he was sober at this point. I was with him 2 weeks prior to his death, and I get a call, 8 a.m., his best friend, a close friend of mine, Jeff's dead. And I was like, no, he's not. Like, what do you mean? And I was like, I don't understand. And I went with my friends that day. They were like, all right, you need to eat something. It was late in the afternoon already. And we go downstairs to this pizza place. I was in New Jersey, like down at the shore for 4th of July weekend. And I'm standing in this pizza shop, and all of a sudden the music changes. Like a song cut out in the middle, and the real Slim Shady came on. And Jeff and I used to go to every Eminem show, like every show, like so we would go to. And 4 years ago, let's be clear, the real Slim Shady was not a popular song. And in that moment, like my body like lit up. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like Jeff's here, and I'm standing with 2 of my close girlfriends. I'm like, I don't know how to tell them this, because we've never even talked about mediums. Like I don't even know if I believe in this stuff. So I end up going home, 2 days later. I go to his funeral. I paid a Shiva call every day. I was with his family every day that week. And every time I drove to his house, I knew he was in my car with me. He would play songs on stations that these songs didn't even belong on. And I was like, okay, something bigger is happening. And fast forward, I go out to Northern California. Friends were like, come take a break, like take off work for a little while. I was working as a private chef in New York, like totally different kind of energy. And I went out to California, got quiet, and then I was guided to Reiki. And I was like, Reiki, like what is that? And next day I get an email in my inbox from someone I'd met. Hey, my Reiki teacher is teaching class. I think you should take it. I think it might be good for you. I was like, okay, yep, I heard that yesterday. So sure. I signed up for Reiki. 3 months later, I was like, I'm moving to LA. Like I'm moving to LA. I've been thinking about this for some time. I need to move. I need to get out of New York. I moved to LA. My second day there, I went to a class that only in LA 4 years ago, they have a class called Aroma Reiki. I just like needed to go work out, but I didn't actually want to work out. So I was like, oh, I can lay down. Someone will give me Reiki. And I walked in this room and was like, this is not the Reiki I know. I need this. And I thought I was going out to LA to be a chef in the cannabis space. I was like, oh, I'll just add cannabis to what I do. Like, I'm going to be a cannabis chef, like super dope. And like started doing that. And then I did Aroma Reiki, talked to the teacher. She's like, this is holy fire Reiki. It's not traditional. So I went and ended up doing my Reiki master class with her. And from there on, the wheels just spun off. My mediumship fully opened. I started seeing past lifetimes. My ancestors were coming through to me, and I started doing deep, dark shadow work of my lineage, clearing all of my ancestors' traumas. Yeah. And it's led me on this path, and here I am 4 years later, and I have gone really deep. I'm a Holy Fire Karuna Reiki Master, which is the farthest place you can go with Reiki. I have studied with shamans and been ignited into a lineage, and I'm also now a student of true body intelligence, that's where the body of light comes from, and I pull stress and trauma out of the physical organs, both with energetic work as well as physical work. So when we're not in coronavirus, I do on occasion see people in person, though most of my work is distance. And at the same time, along the journey, I picked up sound healing. So it's been a deeply transformative 4 years of my life, to say the least.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. And I think it's I talk about the leader's journey a lot. And I think at the center of every leader, there's a great story. And I think that story really breaks down in, 4 core areas that I teach, which is the struggle, the shadow, the shift, and then the service. And when I hear your story, it's like, I think all of us can relate to that moment of the struggle. And a lot of times it's a pivotal moment. It's someone passing away, or, it's a rock bottom moment from addiction or shame or violence or abuse or, certain things. A lot of times it could be from childhood. You brought up death. And I think, for one, I actually just found out yesterday that a gentleman I never met, but had been interviewed by my girlfriend, Stefan Arnio, had just passed away at 33 years old. I just found this out yesterday, guys.
That 33 number.
Yeah, 33 is just following me everywhere. So for everybody there, drop a prayer emoji, but really just today, take some time to remember how blessed you really, really are. That this none of us are guaranteed tomorrow. We only have today. And at 33, that was a transformational year in my life. I'm only 35, and sometimes, and I saw my girlfriend, just the impact it made on her, similar to you.
It happened to me when he passed away. It was right before my 33rd birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is essentially our Jesus year, the 33 is our Jesus year. It's that rebirth year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was the year that I really built an even stronger relationship with Jesus Christ. And he was coming up in a lot of the deep spiritual work that I was doing. And, it's just, I relate to, those deep moments, man, where we lose someone. And it's unbelievable, like how that can then be the catalyst. What's unbelievable is like that can end up becoming this unbelievable catalyst in your life spiritually. To recognize how blessed you really are and to make the changes and make the shifts in your life. But first you got to go through this, these shadows. And can you tell us a little bit, Lauren, about what is shadow work? Because this is something that I've had to learn on my path, but you being an expert, can you talk a little bit about shadow work for those that are on the live now to understand what that even means?
Yeah, so I think the best way to kind of explain it is even going through the chakras, because the shadows are when we're not aligned, we're not living in our truth, and we're hiding from something. So when we're in those addictive patterns is when our root chakra is misaligned. When we're struggling with drugs, alcohol, sex, money, any of those kind of patterns that come up, we're in the shadows, we're misaligned because we're not in that truth. So what happens is we need to really look at ourselves and say, where does this come from? Is this an inherited emotion? Is this something I picked up along the way? Is this a story someone told me? And then it's really dissecting that. But the only way to dissect what's truly coming up is to go into it, to go in and uproot it. So with my chakra program, it goes from root to crown, because the point is we need to pull out the old roots. What is no longer serving you?
The weeds.
Pull it out. Yeah. Pull out all the weeds, get rid of the old soil that has no nutrients, and lay down that new foundation so we can lay down our truths and grow and expand like the beautiful garden we deserve to be, without all of the weeds, without all of the shit that comes up there. Oh, I didn't have a good grow this season. Well, that's because you're not aligned. You're not keeping your shit clean. So it's how do we just clean it out once and for all so we can grow to be these beautiful beings that we are? Because we are all, it's fine. I keep seeing God and Jesus pop up here. I'm not seeing all the things people are saying, but we are all God's perfect children. We came into this life as God's perfect child. We were chosen to be here. So it's a matter of how do we come back to being exactly who we were when we came into this world before parents, teachers, relationships, friends, whatever it is, kind of fucked us up. And how do we go back to being perfect? Because we've always been perfect.
Yeah, we're made in God's eye, we're born that way. It's so yeah, I agree. We forget a lot of times when you do a lot of this deep work, and I've gone as far as obviously working with the plant medicines like ayahuasca, wachuma, and so on and so forth. Even during integration, when you go through a lot of these spiritual retreats and stuff, it's about remembering who you are at the end of the day. It's not about changing and all that. It's yeah, you're going to make shifts in your life, but it's taking you back. That's why we can learn so much from babies when you have kids, because they are the God frequency, right? They haven't been conditioned yet. They are already born perfect, right? They curious and fun and passionate and playful and loving. and all of these amazing things that we are born in God's eye, but we tend to forget because as we go through life, trauma happens, experience happens, pain happens, breakups happen, you know, loss, betrayal, all of these things that then creates these new beliefs that are a lot of times negative and patterns, and then all of a sudden you start making choices based on fear, based on the doubt, based on these things. So let's dive into the chakras a little more. I know because you're working heavily on that. And what I like about the chakras is that there's real science behind it, guys, right? So I'm interested to know who here understands them. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And then, Lauren, if you can teach us a little bit about them, because, you know, a lot of times people, I saw someone comment before and they were like, you mean like the colors of the rainbow? And it's like, we see these pictures of all the colors and it could be very woo-woo as fuck. And so it is. But at the end of the day, it's also very much real and it's very science-based. And we do have these energy centers in our body. So can you take us through a little bit of understanding the chakras?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
So we have 7 main energy centers from the root, which is at the base of the spine, going up to the crown. So I'll just touch on what an energy center looks like first before we even dive into each one.
Cool.
An energy center, I'll give you 2 ways to view it. It can be either like this spinning wheel of energy that we want it to spin in the proper direction, but sometimes it will slow down, go the wrong way, or totally shut off. But I've been using this visual that's been working. I shared it on my webinar yesterday. It's a light switch. The light's on, the light's off, or the light's somewhere on the dimmer. And the intention is that we want to have the lights on, right? Like we want to be as lit up as possible. So how do we turn the lights on? What does every chakra represent? So all of the chakras focus on a different thing. So starting at the root, which is at the base, that is all about career, money mindset, and a sense of belonging, security, safety, like feeling that we belong within ourselves. It's not even belonging outside. It's like that I feel safe and secure within myself. I mean, first and foremost, the most important thing. And when it's not aligned, the root chakra, we're kind of in those addictive patterns. We're not in our truth. We are turning to outside people. We don't feel safe. We don't feel secure. And then we move up to the sacral chakra, which is right below the belly button, which is all about sexuality and creativity. And we live in a world where, especially as women, sexuality is super repressed. Like we're taught certain things, we're treated certain ways. And I, for one, on the creativity side, when I was younger, I was prescribed Adderall. So when taking a prescription drug like Adderall, the intention of ADD medicine is what? Well, to make you focus on one thing. So I was very focused on one thing all the time, whatever it needed to be in that moment. So my creative center was totally shut down. Like my sacral chakra, the light was down. It wasn't even dim. Like it wasn't on because I was being medicated that way. So it took me quite some time to turn that back on for myself, put the lights back on. And, you know, people, you know, our generation, it's so common that we were just given medication to deal with certain things. So I've seen this a lot with clients, and I've worked with a lot of clients who were prescribed medication because that's part of my journey as well. So typically I transmute and heal within others what I've healed within myself.
Yeah.
So then we have the solar plexus, which is like our fire, that inner fire. I see it as a lion or that Care Bear shooting the sun rays out of its stomach. And the solar plexus is all about our power and like our personal power. How do we show up? So often we give away our power to others in relationships, friendships, to our bosses. We just give away our power. We're like, oh, well, I'm not going to speak up. I'm not worthy. So it's like, here, take my power. I don't need this. So it's so important that we get that in check. And the solar plexus also has to do with our gut health. We have 3 minds that we think with, essentially. The smallest one located here, then our heart, and then our solar plexus. So gut health is so important. And in my program, I also talk about eating for your chakras. You eat the certain color foods for your chakras, which is stuff we talked about as well.
Yeah.
And then we move up to the heart chakra, which is located in the center of the chest, which of course has to do with love and relationships. And so important is that self-love piece, because
Oh, yeah.
when there is no self-love, our foundation is fucked. Like, our foundation is so screwed up when we can't learn to love ourselves, because we don't even think we're worthy of being safe and secure. We don't think we're worthy of having money, having abundance, and having all the good things in life, because we don't love ourselves. So that's like kind of like week one when I go in with clients in my one-on-one coaching. It's like, how much do you love yourself? Do you really love yourself? Because we build up walls to protect ourselves based on things we've also learned in childhood. So we move up after that to the throat chakra, which of course is self-expression. How often do you speak up? How often do you stifle yourself? I was someone who actually went through reconstructive jaw surgery. So I had my mouth wired shut for 8 weeks when I was 24 years old. So now, understanding all that I know now, that's a karma that I came into this life with, that I had to work through, was learning how to share my voice. I used to have a fear of public speaking, and now like I am so out there and loud and proud about like all of my gifts, like all of this stuff. But it took me really doing deep work on my throat chakra. And then we have our third eye, which is our intuition. How do we see that visualizing? But when we're out of alignment, we're kind of making up stories and we're creating drama that doesn't exist. So we really want to get this in alignment so we can actually see our truth and not create out of falsity. And then we have the crown chakra, which is our connection to God, universe, source, higher power, highest self. This is like, you know, the crowning jewel of it all. So in my program, I work with people from the root up to the crown. So we like pull all of the shit up and out of the body, release it, and then we're able to receive.
Woo! And that's so powerful. And I wish I learned all of this earlier. It's been such a beautiful journey, guys. I mean, what she's talking about, I mean, this is real. You have these energy centers. I mean, all the way up, all the way, right? And like you can then receive from God.
And then we go out 5 more layers in our auric field. So it's like, it doesn't even stop there, but it's like, this is where it begins. So like, get this shit right, and everything is going to magnetize to you. And anything that's not of service to you is going to fall away. And I did a webinar on this yesterday, and I have the recording. So if you send me a message, send me a DM with your email address if you want more info on this, and I will make sure to get you on the list, and I will drop you the free webinar so you can just like go in on all the information that I shared.
Yeah, this is such powerful work, guys. It's like I really genuinely believe like we're all investors at the end of the day. You're an investor of your time, your attention, your energy, and your money. And the best investment that you can make right now during COVID is truly into you, your mental health, your spiritual health, you learning a new skill, going out there and being, you know, entrepreneurial, going and learning something that you're passionate about and going after it, going after your dreams. But like more than anything, before you can even become that kind of leader and take your business to the next level, you have to do this work and invest in yourself to really go deep into parts of you that you may have not really have looked at ever before or looked at before. And there's always more work to do for yourself internally. And I think Lauren is one of the best in the world at doing that. So like, I'm just curious, Lauren, because I know you just launched something specifically only for this week, from my understanding, and then you're doing something that's like a 14-day chakra healing, working hands-on with you. So talk to me a little bit about what that looks like.
So it's a 14-week program, actually.
A 14 week?
Yeah, 14 weeks. It's 14 weeks. So there's like a whole school. It's like all trainings are available to you, and you go in week to week healing each chakra. And it's 14 weeks because we spend 2 weeks on each chakra. So we start at the root, healing the root week 1, and then reactivating the root at this higher frequency week 2. So the things that you receive in this program are sound healings, because what I'm doing is I am helping you clear your old patterns, and we're changing the cellular structure, essentially. Like that's what we're doing. We're changing your cellular structure. So every week you get journal prompts that are like deep questions to really make you think, to really go in. And then every day your homework is to listen to the 20 to 25 minute sound bath. So my biggest thing also with this program is like, if you say, oh, but do I have enough time to do this? If you don't have 25 minutes to invest in yourself and in your healing and in your leveling up, then you're actually not ready. Then you're not showing up for yourself. And like, I call bullshit on anyone that tells me they don't have 25 minutes. And that's why I'm not the healer for everyone, because I will call you on your shit. Like, yeah. I called you on your shit. I'm like, oh, you don't have a few minutes to memorize this line?
She gave me one of, I mean, 6 weeks were crazy. So powerful for me. But I really wanted to call in more courage, boundaries, and discipline. And she, you know, one of the homework that she gave me, I was like, damn, I don't know if I have time to say 36 times body. It's basically putting your hands together like this, okay, and saying, body, allow me to experience all of the courage, boundaries, and discipline that I am through and into all of the courage, boundaries, and discipline that exist. And saying that 36 times, I was like, I don't got time for that. I'm an entrepreneur. Like, I'm a CEO. I got to build my business. I got things like all day, like serving and everything. She called bullshit on me, you know? And then next thing you know, I'm not going to lie, like a week went by where I didn't do it. And I was stuck in different areas of my life. Then I finally said, you know what? It's time for me to man up and like start actually investing, because this is for me. If I can't make the time for me to do this work, nobody else is going to do it for me. So every morning after my meditation, I do it, you know, and I say to them, I do it like I break it down. I'm like, okay, 36. So I do 12 at a time, you know, and if some days I spread it out throughout the day, and I make sure to think about it midday, think about it at night, and every day for 21 days. And I remember I'm already seeing the results. And this is just one piece of homework and practical tactic that she's given me to bring in and embody that courage, those boundaries, and that discipline in my life. So yeah, so I'm like, I love it. I'm so excited because, you know, it's one thing when you have a spiritual conscious coach and, you know, they teach you. It's another when you like figure out how to integrate these teachings into your body and into your daily life. And that's one of the greatest things that I love about Lauren and a lot of the powerful coaches that we work with within Leaders Create Leaders, because it's like, it's not just, you know, you learn in life when you do a lot of the spiritual work. It's like you may have this big breakthrough, like even going as deep as working with ayahuasca, you'll have an insanely huge breakthrough. Trust me, she always gives you what you need, but it's in the integration where your real transformation happens. They say 80% of your transformation leveling up, right, is in integration. So Lauren is giving you like real things that you can do to not only have those breakthroughs, to level up your consciousness and what you want to call in and call into your life, but like you're fully integrating it ongoing, and you'll never be the same. So what is that worth? I mean, I can't even put a price to it. But
it's literally, so I taught this program live 5 or 6 times. I taught it live to groups, and then I've done it with individuals, oh my God, countless times over the last 2 years. But I was guided. God was like, hey, Lauren, guess what? It's time for you to create an evergreen program. And I was like, I don't know. I'm not really an evergreen person. So I had to do some leveling up work. And then as I did that leveling up work, created this, I understood, because at the same time, that's when COVID hit, and the message from COVID was like, people are going to wake the fuck up and they need the tools. So give them the tools. So this is literally a tool that it costs you less than $44 a week right now with my pre-sale, less than $44 a week if you pay in full to level up. You get the sound baths, the journal prompts, you get more information on the chakras, different tools, different crystals to work with, aromatherapy. I have Spotify playlists for every chakra to like dive into and listen to. It's so dope. Like, it's so dope. And it's stuff that I still use this. If I'm like, oh my God, I have to like do a talk, I'm doing a webinar. Cool. Let me put on my throat chakra activation sound bath so I level up my voice today. You're going into a meeting. You need your personal power. You need to be in your strength. Cool. Put on that solar plexus sound bath the night before so you wake up empowered. This, like, the work that I do is next level. And you know what? I fucking mean that. Like, it's next level. when
I agree.
people make an energetic exchange with me and the universe, your name goes on my wall right behind me. I got like all my people's names that I'm working with one-on-one right now. And then as this program fills, everyone's name goes up. And I start sending you Reiki every day. There's also a Facebook group that I decided to do so I could keep like in check with everyone, check in with those that join, because I want to give you as much as possible. I know what it's like to walk through the shadows alone. I walked through the shadows alone. The only way that I was able to do it was with my dead best friend helping me from the other side. And not all of us have that dead best friend communicating with us. So allow me to be that person to hold space for you to actually walk through the shadows and into your light. That's what I'm here to do.
So Lauren, let's take some questions. Let's see what's come through. Guys, drop some questions. A lot of people are asking me questions about team building. Guys, if you're interested in that, because I see a lot of questions coming in still about the team building stuff, I'll do a live stream specific about that. So I appreciate you guys. I want to know that I see your questions. I'll do something specifically around that soon. But if you guys can ask some questions relevant to what we're talking about, let's see.
My sister's here. Mom and I were talking about how good your sound baths are the other day and how much they've helped. Oh, thanks, fam. I love my mom and my sister.
All right, let's see.
When you keep seeing repeating numbers, it's because you're in alignment and the universe is trying to communicate a message to you. So repeating numbers, certain numbers mean certain things. So my best advice is use Google as the tool that it is. So if the number is 777, Google 777 angel number. Whatever that repeating number is, look it up. There are messages for you. Like, true story, Google, this tool, this phone is a tool for spiritual awakening if you allow it to be. It's either a tool for darkness or a tool for light. Like, use it. It's available. Yeah.
Cool. So what about mirror work? I see that we got a question here that is from Outer Space. Outer Space 707. It says, like, what are your thoughts on mirror work? Which is pretty interesting to me because I feel like I've actually just like recently I started understanding that a little bit more. But what
I was just talking about mirror work actually the other day on my Instagram. I asked how many people are familiar with it. I think I need to do a video on it. I love mirror work. To be able to sit and look at yourself. So I do eye gazing in the mirror where I'll look from one eye to the other and really sit with myself and see what wants to come up, see what emotions come up. To find silence and peace in looking at yourself, you're looking into your soul. So I think that's some of the most important work we can do is be willing to look at yourself, be willing to see yourself. Like, you can't hide from yourself in a mirror, right? You're looking in the mirror. So I highly recommend it. I also highly recommend doing it with others, doing that eye gazing practice with others, so you can see other people and recognize yourself in other people where you may not be willing to see yourself yet.
Cool. We got Real Ruby Montoya here. Thanks, Ruby, for asking a question. She says, how often should we be working on clearing the chakras? Is it hourly? Is it daily?
I would say daily. Like in my program, what I ask and request of you to do is listen to the sound bath once a day. And at a certain point, you don't have to do it every day. I do the work every day because I see clients every day. So I make sure to move my energy at the end of the day. But at the beginning, I used to spend like an hour a day working on my chakras and giving myself Reiki and clearing my energy. So I think it depends where you are in your journey. It will start as a lot and then it will lessen the more you come into alignment, because once the light switch is on, it's doing your best to stay in that on switch. But if you find yourself dimming, okay, let's pick the light back up.
Yeah, I would also add to that, guys, in the sense that, like, when you go through this program, right, you're going to go way deeper in understanding all of these energy centers again, right? And like how they play a role in not like, in like how you're showing up in the world, like in all areas of your life and in your relationships, the relationship you have with yourself, the relationship you have with your friends, family, in business, in work, your relationship with source, God, universe, all these things. What happens is once you get fully aligned and you understand it and you're educated, then what happens is like you eventually become, call it woke, right? Or aligned or awakened, in the point where like on days certain things come up for you, where like on a day where like I feel you know, maybe like I feel nervous about sharing my story, then I know like, okay, this day I can focus on my throat chakra. I can focus on whether it's that sound bath or maybe it's one of the exercises that she has in those practices for me to open up that throat chakra so that I can start sharing my truth more. So it's like really paying attention to what's happening and then understanding where that center is and then understanding what practice you can put into place to move that energy, shake that out, and step into alignment again, you know, fully. So just wanted to mention that as well. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Trina says, how do we know which chakras are blocked and which ones are clear?
So be sure to send me your email address to get the webinar, because I go through all of like the details on if this chakra is blocked, this is what it will look like. We went into that a little bit as I went through the chakras, but there's a lot of information and I'm happy to drop that to all of you if you just send me your email, and I'll make sure you get a copy of that.
Cool. Awesome. So Erica, she's a childhood. I've known her my whole life. She's one of the most beautiful goddesses that I have as a friend. Always been there for me. So good to see you on here, Erica. She says, listening to this right now has me emotional, like if something is trying to fight its way out. Energy, anxious. So is there any, would you respond to something like that, Lauren?
So before I came on this live and before I do any live or host any group, whatever it is, I call in my angels, guides, and loved ones. I call in God, Holy Spirit, Holy Fire, and I set the intention that anyone who shows up in the space is receiving energy clearing from me. So all of you are already receiving the vibration and frequency that I serve if you're willing to receive it. So that's likely why you might be feeling emotional and feel some things coming to the surface, because they're ready to. There are emotions that are ready to rise to the surface. So what I would do is really take some time to think about like what specifically is coming up in this moment, and then we could kind of pinpoint the chakra that it's in, and then from there we kind of go is, okay, is this an inherited emotion? Is this something from my childhood? Is this something from a relationship? And then that's when you start to clear it and transmute it.
Wow. Drop some hearts, guys. And the fact that Lauren took the time, how beautiful is that? Before jumping on this live, she took the time to set an intention to create some of that energy clearing already for each one of you. So I know you're getting exactly what you already need. So Erica, I think that's beautiful that it's starting to come up, and it's about listening, like acknowledging that feeling, know that it's real, acknowledge it, and then step into that curiosity and connect with Lauren after this. So,
yeah, send me a message. And honestly, to me, like, oh my God, someone's crying. Beautiful. Like, we made someone cry. Like, we got the emotion up because it maybe was stuck and you just needed a little like push to get it out. So you're welcome.
Cool. I'm going to take this as the last question, guys. You're getting a ton of hearts here. We'll close this out strong. Shuryash, thank you for asking a question. He says, what do you feel? What to do when you feel a lot of positive energy trapped inside of you, but you feel helpless and watch life going past you by? Going past you.
To me, that sounds like self-worth. It feels to me like that you don't truly love yourself. Like everyone around you sees you, and I've been there. Like everyone saw me before I could see myself. So I would definitely do some work on the heart chakra, really learning to love yourself, because it doesn't matter how much the people outside of ourselves love us. Doesn't matter how much your parents love you, your friends, your partners. Doesn't matter if you don't love yourself. So that will stay trapped because it's not your emotion. You're picking up what everyone's serving you, but you're learning to love yourself.
Yes. Fuck yeah. I talked about, I mentioned this in a comment earlier, but it's like, I didn't really know what self-love was. You know, you grow up and people tell you, know, your parents tell you they love you, and, you know, you hear these words and you go through life, you love people, they love you, they hurt you, you go through life, you know, and you don't really ever think about like how you see yourself or how you really love yourself. And it's deep work. It takes some time to really, I think it's the greatest work, the greatest investment that you can ever make is in that work of building your self-love, self-worth. And, you know, me doing that work, guys, I'm an example. You know, I went through those, not even ever thinking that way. But once I did and I started doing the work and truly fucking loving myself, like unconditionally, then that love overflowed into everything around me, everyone around me. And it then brought all the right people into my life, all the right opportunities in my life, all the right abundance, all the right joy and happiness. So Lauren.
And this is really what we should be learning, like in elementary school, but it's not. So it's never too late to learn how to heal yourself and how to love yourself, because that is what is going to give you the life that you dream of, because you are worthy of all of your dreams. Like they're your dreams for a reason, and you can accomplish them all if you just believe in yourself.
And that's going to happen. I already talked about it with my sister yesterday. We're all doing this work, and it's a 100% part of my mission to bring it to children throughout my career. I've already started, and I know we're all doing that. And I believe within the next 100 years, the children of the new earth are going to be raised with the new these new principles of, of understanding, how to love themselves, how to tap into all of these gifts that God has given us, and understanding spirituality and consciousness. And it's going to be really cool to see. So Lauren, on that note, someone did ask what land you mentioned earlier. I don't know. You said Oran or something.
What land?
I don't know if you mentioned a land, or maybe it could have been in the beginning when you talked about being ignited by the shamans. Maybe you mentioned
holy fire on the lineage is Cuero, from Peru.
Cuero.
Which you know Peru well, so
what about Peru is
my people. So maybe that was it, but otherwise, like, what land am I from? Many. I've lived many lifetimes. This is my last one.
All right, cool. All right, guys, so I'm gonna jump off here. Let's talk, Gerard. Making kid content is one of my life goals, no doubt. Ruby, hit me up. Let's vibe, let's connect, let's collaborate, let's co-elevate. Lauren, thank you so much. Everybody,
thank you.
I highly recommend, do not miss out on this opportunity, because she gets called to start something, and she this is like a container that was just created for you to get this message. At least one of you, this was meant for you, and now you have a choice, similar to the Matrix, like the red pill and the blue pill. It's not like she's gonna have this opportunity always. She calls in what is next for her to create, for her to be a vessel of God and source, and she creates it, but then it's gone. So this is like 14 days that you get to work with her, and then, that container will never happen again. So
14 weeks.
This 14 weeks, sorry. 14 weeks, that's insane. So guys, think about it, hit up Lauren and get involved. And Lauren, thank you so much for working with me. It's been so powerful, and thank you for being a part of our tribe. And continue to crush. This is an important week. This is where you're calling in the right souls that are meant to be a part of your chakra container. So I'm excited to see who steps forward, and I'll see you on our mastermind call.
Yeah, see you in a bit. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, everybody, for joining. Jeremiah, my man. Joe, I see you, bro. I would love to reconnect with you, homie, and see how I can continue to serve and be there for you. I love everything that you've been doing, man. Jeremiah is someone that was part of one of my programs. So shout out to Jeremiah. Memorial Day was this past Monday. So thank you for everything that you've done in your service, bro. And just your leadership and how you continue to serve and lead. I see you, man. I've always seen you, and I see you, and I see your growth and your dedication. And I'm always here cheering you on, man, and celebrating you. So guys, thank you again for taking the time to join me on another live. This is going to be on our podcast, Repurposed. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I believe tomorrow we have an extremely powerful live with Colin Wayne, another American hero who's built a 9-figure business. You guys do not want to miss out on this extremely powerful live. If you want to get some insight on Colin Wayne, go to my YouTube channel and search Leaders Create Leaders Colin Wayne, or subscribe to youtube.com/Gerard Adams TV and look up my episode with Colin Wayne, an amazing documentary on him, and he'll be with us live tomorrow. So spread the word. And if this was valuable for you guys, please go and comment on my page. Let me know. Repost some shit to your story. And make sure to go hit up Lauren. Lauren Courtney Heals. Such a powerful conscious leader. And get involved in her chakra program and connect with her. I love you guys. You already know. Be the leader. Peace.